Hey everyone, it is Elise Cabret here, songwriting coach at DAWter, here to help you write and record the songs of tomorrow. If you'd like loads of songwriting advice and tips on being a songwriter as a career, please subscribe to my channel. All right, in this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about how to prepare for an open mic night. Now, if you've never performed live before, open mics are a great way to get into to test the waters and to trial yourself on stage. They are also quite nerve-wracking if you've never played publicly. So I am here to give you a bunch of tips on helping you feel more prepared and more confident to play your first open mic night. My first tip, which is the most obvious tip, we're going to get this out of the way straight away, and that is to rehearse. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Obviously, the more you rehearse your songs, the more comfortable you will be to perform those songs under pressure. When you're rehearsing your songs, it is also good to rehearse a little bit of stage banter between those songs. So having a bit of an idea of how you might talk to the audience between the songs. I'm going to do a whole video on this next up. So if you'd like some tips on stage banter, you can watch that video. One of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of musicians make on stage, and this is myself included when I was first starting out, is because you're feeling really nervous, you start playing your songs really, really fast, and playing the songs fast will actually lose a lot of the power and the emotion behind those songs. So we want to be able to train ourselves to play those songs at the correct tempo. So when you're rehearsing your songs at home, a really good way to do this is to play them to a metronome. And that'll just reinforce how the song is supposed to sound. You'll be much more aware of the correct timing, and that's going to really help ground you when you're feeling really nervous on stage. Number 2 is to prepare for distraction. Now, when we're practicing at home, we're in our safe little comfortable environment that we've got a lot of control over. There's not a lot of distractions. It's really easy to practice our songs. But when we're on stage, there can be a lot of other noise and distracting things going on. So you need to train yourself to be able to focus on what you're playing. One of the most challenging situations that a lot of live performers will experience is when you can actually hear music from another room bleeding into the room that you're trying to perform in. And that can be extremely distracting. So the tip that I came up with to help practice my focus is to actually, when I'm practicing at home, I put on some music. So I'll just have it on low, playing off my computer or somewhere in the background so that I can actually hear that music and try and practice my songs over the top and not, I'm training myself to block out that background noise and focus all my attention on what I'm playing. So that can be a really good way to train your focus so that if you are on stage and there is background noise that's really distracting, that won't be a problem for you. Tip number 3 is to know what to expect. So there's no nasty surprises. So do your homework, find out if the venue has a sound person or you'll be doing your own sound. Find out how many DIs there are, so direct inputs. That's where you plug your guitar in on the stage. If a lot of the time, if the venue only has one and you've got yourself and another person playing guitar, you'll need to bring your own DI. So you don't want to find that out on the night just before you go on stage. You want to make sure you know exactly what to expect. My next tip is have a pack list. So in the lead up to a performance, often nerves are flying. We're feeling really excited, but also a little bit all over the place because we've got a lot of things to think about. It's really helpful to have a list of things that you need to make sure you don't forget anything. Coming from personal experience, the first proper gig that I played it was an hour's drive from where I lived. I was so nervous, and I got to the venue. It was very exciting. It was the first real gig in a real venue, and I arrived for sound check, went to grab my guitar, and realized I'd left my guitar at the front door of my house, an hour's drive back to where I lived. So don't do that. The best thing we can do is have a pack list. It might sound really obvious, but write down everything you need. I will also encourage you on your pack list to include having a spare set of strings and a spare set of batteries, because we never want to get caught out without, we break a string while we're tuning up. Oh no, I can't play the gig because I don't have a spare set of strings. So just make sure you've got some in your bag. You also want to think about, do I need a capo? Do I need picks? Do I have a set list? anything you need. Maybe you bring a drink bottle, anything you need to make you comfortable on stage and to allow you to perform your songs. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, is to make a good impression. So when you perform at an open mic night, you want to make a good impression, not just with your audience, you want them to like you, of course, but also with the venue that you're playing at and the other performers that are playing on the night. And the reason for this is open mics are wonderful networking opportunities. So often the booking agent for the venue will be at the open mic nights. If you make a great impression with them, you are much more likely to get a residency or paid gigs at that venue. And also the other people who are playing on stage that night are your peers. So look where you can forge professional relationships with these people. It is really important to have a strong network of other musicians. When you're a musician, you never know who you might meet and what opportunities that will lead to. So the best way to make a good impression is, first of all, get there on time. You don't want to rock up to a gig halfway through someone else's performance. That is really rude. So get there on time, early if you can. Also, make sure you watch everyone's performance. Don't just rock up for yours. Actually sit down and watch everybody else who's performing on the night, and give them lots of support and respect while they're performing. So don't be sitting there chatting to your mate really loudly while somebody else is playing on stage. You want to give them the same respect as you would hope that they would give to you. If you want to take that networking opportunity even further, if you've seen a performer do their set and you really, really loved what they did, and maybe you want to potentially work with them in the future, actually go up to them after they finish performing and tell them how much you enjoyed their performance, because that's going to do their confidence wonders. They're going to really like you immediately, and you're going to start developing that relationship straight away. It's a really good way to start getting to know people, other performers, and start building those connections. So there you have it. Those are my tips on how to prepare for an open mic night like a pro. Hopefully you've gained a few lessons in there, and you will avoid some of the mistakes that I've made in the past and that other people have made, and you'll feel a lot more prepared for your first open mic night. If you have any other tips that perhaps I haven't covered, please leave a comment and let us know so that other people will get those tips as well. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more content like this, more advice for songwriters or songwriting tips, please hit that subscribe button. I've got loads of videos on my channel already, and I'm uploading more all the time. Thanks very much. My name's Elise Cabret, and good luck at your next open mic night.